Our next Lion legend was a four-year letterman at North Alabama from 2005 to 2009, one of 18 student athletes in the history of UNA athletics to be selected all-conference 4 straight seasons. She was a second-team pick as a freshman, then first-team All-Gold South Conference the next 3 seasons. The GSC East Division Player of the Year after her sophomore season. She led the nation in free throw percentage in 2007 and 2008, finishing 5th as a senior. The leading scorer for 4 straight seasons to finish her career second on the school's all-time scoring list. She currently ranks 4th place. She led the team in rebounding twice and ranks second all-time at UNA in career rebounds. She also led the team in field goal percentage and free throw percentage all 4 seasons. She was recently inducted into the UNA Athletic Hall of Fame back in October. Amber Rutherford, Joseph, thanks for being our next Lion legend.
Oh, thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
So let's start. Some stuff has changed for you since we last saw you at the Hall of Fame. Give UNA fans just sort of a life update, if you will.
Well, we had a little surprise come early. I had my baby at 37 weeks, and he is happy and healthy, and we are home and thankful. So there you go. It's been an interesting couple of weeks.
Little brother, I guess, has a big sister as well. Just take us also through where life has taken you and where you're at now.
So we moved to Paragould about 3.5 years ago when I was 28 weeks pregnant with my daughter. She's now 3, and we've lived here for 3 years. My husband is an engineer for Nucor Steel, and we have just recently had our second baby, and everyone's happy and healthy. So we're happy and healthy.
So as we start to get into your Lion Legends stories, second on the school's scoring list, second all-time rebounder when you wrapped up your career at North Alabama. Great 4-year career we're going to dive into. But when you look back at your time at Florence, the University of North Alabama, just what does this place mean to you?
Oh my goodness, Florence, I hadn't been back since a couple of years, and when I was just recently back for the Hall of Fame induction, I just felt like home again. Like it's just such a tight-knit community. Everyone welcomed me like I hadn't been gone for like 3 or 4, 5 years, and it's just that community and that school just has meant a lot to me, and it still does, always will.
So let's get into your story and let's go back to Hatton, Alabama, where you grew up. Basketball was really big with your family. You had a great high school career. We'll get to the state championships in just a second. But what role did basketball play in the Rutherford family for you growing up?
Oh man, I remember nights and evenings in the backyard with my dad and my sisters and playing horse. Like we would literally not be able to see the goal anymore because we'd be shooting. We just like had to guess where we were shooting because we were all so competitive. We wanted to finish the game and win. And if one of us lost, we were like, okay, again, just one more time. So it was an amazing, you know, growing up and having the sisters, and my dad spent a lot of time with me and taught me really everything that I knew about the game and the shooting aspect. I'm going to give my dad a lot of credit here for the shooting. He taught me everything I knew about shooting. So there you go, Dad.
You won 2 state championships at Hatton High School, and I know it was a family affair for you as well. The Rutherford family and those state championships, break it down for us, I guess, the family connections.
We're cousins. She's not my aunt, but we were all Mamie and both Copia were my cousins. So we were like sisters. People thought we were sisters, sometimes even twins. I don't know how because we look nothing alike, but we were cousins.
The 2 state championships that you won, I believe you were MVP of the final one, but how special are those memories taking home those state championship maps?
Those memories are so special to me. I'll never forget that team. Like I said earlier, we were so special. We were one of a kind. We knew that like the starting five was great, but we could always put in that second five and they would pick up right where we left off. And we just had a special group of girls, and it's memories that I'll always cherish. And I even get chills like talking about it because it was a special time for sure.
A highly decorated high school career as well. When did you start thinking about taking that next step and playing college basketball?
Oh, I always, from when I was a little girl and I started playing, I always knew that I wanted to. I always dreamed of being in the WNBA, but obviously that didn't work out. But I always dreamed of playing at the next level, so it's something I've always wanted to do.
Your recruitment to North Alabama, what was that like? When did UNA start playing a factor in your next step?
They really didn't start playing a fact. Actually, they were one of the I didn't think about them as much as some others, but I'm so glad that they come in around my senior year and Coach DeLine, he's not there anymore. He recruited me, but once I visited that community and that school won me over. The team there was phenomenal. So it's just I was close to home. I'm a big family girl, so it worked. It worked out great. I don't take regret anything at all.
Your first year on campus saw you lead the team in scoring at 11.8 points per game to go with 5.9 rebounds. That earned you an All-Gulf South Conference honor. What did it mean for you to be a second-team All-Conference pick your first year on campus?
Oh man, what an honor! Because that year didn't start out so good. I didn't start out starting as a freshman, and I thought, I had always started, so it was something that was really hard for me to accept at first. But once I got more confident and actually in the games, like I knew that this was all going to be okay. So it was an honor for sure.
Second year, Terry Fowler took over as head coach. What was it like when Coach Fowler took over the program?
Oh man, I love Coach Fowler. I have nothing bad to say about Coach Fowler. He was phenomenal. He took our program and team and turned us around, turned the team morale around because we didn't have our freshman year was my freshman year wasn't very good, but he turned the whole morale around and it was just a phenomenal experience. Sometimes it's scary when a new coach comes in because you're worried about if, they're gonna like you or something, but definitely a great experience for sure.
There's a lot to dive into from your sophomore season, and it starts. You were named Gulf South Conference East Division Player of the Year after averaging 15.2 points per game, 8.2 rebounds. Freshman to sophomore year, a lot of times, is a tough jump for players, but for you, that all-conference, not only making the all-conference team, but winning Player of the Year, just how big was that for you?
Oh, that was something. Coach Prezel, he was the assistant coach, and he always told me, he was like, "You're the only player of the year that thinks you're the worst player in the conference." He always told me that because I always was so hard on myself and always thought I could be better. So, I mean, getting that award it was an honor for sure.
Then to go with the big individual honor, the team made the first Gulf South Conference tournament in 4 seasons. So you get the individual honor and then add it on. What was the feeling like, I guess, with everything you guys accomplished that season?
It was great. Like I said, Coach Fowler come in. I'm telling you, he turned that whole morale around. It was just a great experience as a team. We were so close, so much closer, and I think that showed on the basketball court the way how close we were off the court, and it showed on the court as well. So it was great. It was a great feeling for sure.
Let's talk free throw shooting. Your sophomore year, you led the nation in free throw percentage, 93.4%. You would defend the title as a junior. Senior year, you did finish fifth, but you wrapped up your career as the NCAA All-Division career leader free throw percentage. You still have that automatic stroke from the free throw line?
Believe it or not, I still got it.
So how much did the free throw shooting go back, I guess, to the early days with your dad and your sister shooting basketball?
There were times we were out in the yard and I'd have like, Dad, I need to make one more. Like I would shoot 100 before I would ever miss. Like I want to see how many I can make in a row. And it was one of those things like I could have 30 points a game, but if I missed a free throw, that's the first thing I talked to. I was like, Dad, did you see me miss that free throw? So it's something I was really hard on myself about, and I almost perfected it because I was so hard on myself. I would stay and shoot afterwards if I missed free throws. There's times I was there shooting 100 free throws because I missed because I missed one. So it's something that was definitely important to me, and I like to think I perfected it pretty well.
You certainly didn't miss often from the free throw line. In fact, your senior year, you hit 54 straight at one time. Do you remember much about that run of consecutive free throws that you made? Did you ever start feeling the pressure?
I'll tell you this, I never felt pressure at the free throw line, but when I did miss, like the whole stands would go, and you could like, you're like, oh no, like I let the whole arena down, but it was something that like, it was just out of character for me to miss. But like I said, it was something that was so important to me. I felt like if they're free, you should make them. I know that sounds silly, but I definitely think it's something that should be taken seriously, obviously.
Speaking of the hometown crowds, Flowers Hall, being from Hatton High School, what do you remember about playing inside of Flowers Hall and what the atmospheres and crowds were like?
Oh, it was amazing. Like that was some of the best times and memories of my whole life. I know that sounds silly too, but I remember people and the teams from Hatton and even locals coming to watch me because I was so close, and that was something that was really important to me. They would bring in the local high school team to watch. So being close to home was definitely a benefit for me, and having my family be able to come and watch just about every game. Didn't miss anything, so it was great.
Junior year, you start eyeing, I guess, some school records. You became a 1,000-point scorer in year number 3, finished the year averaging 15.2 points per game, 6.7 rebounds, all Gulf South Conference selection as well. Again, making the Gulf South Conference tournament. Your third year at North Alabama, is there anything that stood out?
Junior year, I remember the community over there took me in and loved me, and I just remember of making so many good friends and families and little girls that looked up to me, and I still remember. I'll never forget those. Junior year, I think that's when all that really hit me, that I was like an idol to some of these little girls, and I was just, that was just it made my world go round my junior year for sure.
Let's jump into your senior year, a record-chasing senior year, 16.9 points per game to go with 6.8 rebounds. Your final go, you're chasing Amber Rutherford's school records for points and rebounds. You would finish the year second in both categories, still second in rebounds, fourth now on the school's all-time scoring list. But what was it like going through that senior year, chasing those records while also trying to enjoy that final year?
The records weren't really important to me. I can't take anything from Amber Delon. She is a phenomenal player, person, coach, etc. But the records, I never really was. They weren't important to me. I just loved to play the game, and I went out there every single game, and I felt like I give it my all every single time, and that's what was important to me. And if I broke the records, I broke the records. That was a plus side of it all. So they weren't really that important to me.
So your career comes to a close at North Alabama, second on the school's scoring list, second all-time leading rebounder, numerous free throw records as well. But when you look back at the 4 years, is there anything else that stands out?
Definitely. Some of the best friends I have to this day are some of the girls that I played basketball with. And even though we all are like spread out everywhere, we can always pick up right where we left off by a phone call, a text, or even if we see each other, whatever. It's just some of the best friendships and memories that I will cherish for forever and be able to share with my daughter for sure.
So you graduate in December of 2009. You spent a semester as a student coach as well. But connect the dots for us from graduation to this point. How'd you end up in Arkansas?
Well, I met my husband on a blind date. I know that sounds silly. So we had mutual friends set us up, and we haven't been apart since. And he got a job here in Arkansas when I was 28 weeks pregnant with my daughter, and we moved here. I'd never been away from home further than 30 minutes. And since then, we've built a life here and had another baby, and we're happy and healthy, and hopefully things work out where we get back to Florence.
What's it been like for you as well, watching the school, the women's basketball program take off at the Division I level?
Oh, that has been phenomenal. I followed them. I need to get over there and watch them, but following them and watching them online they've done a great job. Coach Tibber has done an amazing job. When I was there touring and seeing everything, which I haven't seen in years, she has done a phenomenal job for sure.
Amber, you were inducted into the UNA Athletic Hall of Fame back in October. Being back on campus during this Lion Legend interview, what's it been like for you reliving your time at North Alabama?
Coming back there last month really was an emotional time for me. Like when I walked into that gym, it was just like butterflies hitting me. It's like I was going to go on the court and play again. But it was, like I said earlier, they welcome me, and UNA is like home to me. Florence is like home to me, and being there, it makes me want to be back there and be a part of things there and have my kids be a part of things there. So it's something that we definitely would like to do in the future for sure.
Amber, thank you very much for reliving your time at UNA and being a Lion legend.
Thank you so much for having me.